My name is Emily. I am 30 years old. I live with my husband, Michael, who is 34. We have been married for 6 years, and our life together seems simple and calm. We live in a small but beautiful house in a quiet neighborhood. Our mornings are filled with coffee and quick conversations before work. Our evenings are slower. We cook dinner, watch television, and sometimes sit together in the garden. On weekends, we clean the house, tend to the plants, or take short walks around the block. I have always enjoyed tidying and organizing. There is something comforting about putting things in their right place. Michael often teases me, saying, "Emily, you'll end up organizing the clouds in the sky one day." I laugh, but it is true. I like order. I like when everything is clear and simple. One Saturday afternoon, I decided to clean the attic. It was full of dust, boxes, and old furniture we rarely touched. Sunlight filtered through a small window, and the air smelled of wood and thyme. As I moved some boxes, I found one that looked different. It was older, heavier, covered in a thick layer of dust. Curious, I pulled it toward me and opened it. Inside was an old diary, bound in worn leather, its pages yellow with age. I held it in my hands, my heart beating faster. I didn't know then that this diary would reveal secrets I was never supposed to find. I sat on the wooden floor of the attic, the diary resting on my lap. Its leather cover was cracked, its corners bent, as if it had been touched many times before. For a moment, I hesitated. It felt wrong to open something so private. But my curiosity was stronger than my hesitation. I turned the first page. The handwriting was neat, almost elegant, though slightly faded with time. The ink had bled into the paper, but the words were still clear. I feel so alone. I walk through this house and it feels both mine and not mine. I keep secrets in my heart because no one else can hold them for me. I frowned, my fingers tightening on the fragile paper. The words sounded heavy, personal, filled with pain. I read further. We meet in secret. Only at night, only when the world sleeps. I wish I could tell him openly that I love him, but I cannot. Too many eyes watch. Too many lives could break. My chest tightened. These lines spoke of a hidden love, a forbidden connection. The writer seemed desperate, trapped between duty and desire. I turned a few more pages. The same woman wrote about long nights of silence, about watching someone she loved from afar. Her loneliness poured from every sentence. Then something strange caught my attention. The handwriting looked familiar. I couldn't place it immediately, but something about the way the letters curved reminded me of notes I had seen before. I quickly closed the diary, pressing my palm against the cover as if to keep the words inside. My heart was racing. Who wrote this? Why was it hidden in our attic? I didn't tell Michael. Not yet. For some reason, I felt I had to keep this secret at least until I knew more. The next evening, after Michael went to bed, I quietly took the diary from the drawer where I had hidden it. My hands shook a little as I opened to the next entry. The writer described a house, her house. She wrote about the creaking staircase, the small attic window, and the sound of rain tapping on the roof. My eyes widened. Every detail matched our own home. I turned the page, my breath catching as I read. The little boy plays on the living room floor. He loves his toy trains. He lines them up carefully, making them go in circles. His laughter fills the house. Sometimes, I wish time could stop and keep him this small forever. I froze. Michael had once told me stories about his childhood, about how he collected toy trains and never went to sleep without one beside his bed. Could this diary be talking about him? I read further. The woman's words became more intense, more secretive. I hide the truth every day. I smile when I must, but my heart is heavy. He must never know the truth about his father. If he does, his world will fall apart. And so will mine. The words hit me like a cold wave. My chest tightened, and I closed the book, staring at it with trembling hands. What truth? Who was his father, if not the man Michael always believed? Was this diary written by Michael's mother? Or someone else connected to him? 100 questions raced through my mind. I felt torn between fear and curiosity. Should I tell Michael now? Or would that only bring pain? I slid the diary back into the drawer and turned off the light. As I lay beside my husband, listening to his steady breathing, one thought repeated again and again in my mind. There were secrets in this house, secrets buried in the pages of a diary. And I had just begun to uncover them. The following weekend, when Michael was out running errands, I climbed back into the attic. The box was still there, the diary waiting like it wanted me to open it again. My heart pounded as I lifted it, dust rising in the air around me. This time, when I turned the pages, something slipped out and fell onto the floor. I bent down and picked it up. It was an old photograph. The picture showed a little boy, no older than 5 or 6, standing proudly with a toy train clutched in his hand. His smile was familiar. My breath caught. It was Michael. He looked exactly like the childhood pictures I had seen in his mother's album. But the woman beside him was not the mother I had seen in those photos. She was younger, her eyes tired but gentle, her hand resting protectively on his shoulder. I swallowed hard and turned the page again. Another photograph slid out. This one made my stomach twist. The same woman stood with a man, but his face had been violently scratched out with a pen. Only his hand rested on her shoulder, and the outline of his body suggested he had once been close to her. My fingers trembled as I placed the photos beside me. I read further into the diary. He lies to me. He promises me love but hides behind another life. I cannot trust him. Still, I cannot let go. I am afraid. Afraid for myself, and afraid for my son. Another page. The truth is dangerous. If anyone finds out, everything will collapse. So I will carry this secret alone. He must never know. I will hide it all. Forever. The handwriting had grown darker, heavier, as though the writer pressed harder with every line. I could almost feel her pain bleeding through the ink. I sat there frozen, staring at the photos and the words. My chest was tight with guilt. I knew I was invading someone's deepest thoughts, her most private fears. But the more I read, the less I could stop. Because deep down, I already knew this was no longer just her story. It was Michael's story, too. That night, I couldn't sleep. The photographs burned in my mind. The little boy with the toy train. The unknown woman with tired eyes. The scratched-out man. I told myself I would keep it hidden, that maybe I should protect Michael from the pain. But when I looked at him lying beside me, I knew I couldn't carry this secret alone. The next evening, after dinner, I placed the diary and the photos on the table. My hands shook as I pushed them toward him. Michael. I found these in the attic. He looked down. For a moment, he didn't move. Then his face drained of color. He picked up the photograph of himself as a boy. His lips parted, but no sound came out. "Where did you find this?" he asked finally, his voice hoarse. "In a box," I whispered. "There's a diary too. Have you ever seen it before?" Michael sat back, staring at the leather cover as though it might bite him. Slowly, he nodded. "I saw it once. When I was 12. It was in the attic then too. My mother caught me with it. She snatched it away and told me never to open it. She said, some things weren't meant to be known." He picked up the second photo, the one with the scratched-out man. His hands trembled. "I don't know who this woman is," he murmured. "She's not my mother. But I know that boy. It's me." Silence filled the room, heavy and suffocating. After a long pause, he spoke again, his eyes distant. "When I was very young, I lived with my aunt for almost 2 years. My mother said she was sick and couldn't take care of me, but she never told me the real reason. I always wondered." His voice broke slightly as he set the photos down. "Maybe this is the reason. Maybe this diary holds the truth." I reached for his hand. "Then we read it together. No more secrets. Whatever it says, we face it side by side." He looked at me, his eyes shining with fear but also determination. Slowly, he nodded. "Yes. We'll read it. Together." Michael and I sat together at the table, the diary open between us. The pages smelled of dust and time, but the words inside still carried the weight of someone's heart. With trembling hands, he turned to the later entries. The handwriting had grown uneven, as if written in moments of fear. "I cannot tell him. I cannot tell anyone. His father is not the man who gives him his name. His real father is the one who visits in the night, the one who whispers promises he never keeps." Michael's jaw tightened. He read the lines silently, then whispered, "So it's true. My father isn't my father." I squeezed his hand. "Keep reading." He turned another page. "I loved him once, but love turned to betrayal. He was supposed to stay, to care for us. Instead, he left me with lies and loneliness." I scratched his face from the photograph because I could not bear to look at him. "But I cannot erase him from my heart, nor from my son's blood. My boy must never know. He must believe in the father who raised him, not the one who abandoned us." The words blurred as Michael's eyes filled with tears. He pressed his palm against the page, as though trying to feel the woman's pain through the ink. "She kept this from me all my life." "Why?" I felt my own throat tighten. "Because she wanted to protect you. She didn't want you to grow up feeling unwanted. She carried this burden so you wouldn't have to." He leaned back, staring at the scratched-out man in the photo. A family friend. Someone close enough to visit. Someone she trusted, and he betrayed her. His voice cracked. "And me." I placed my hand over his. "She made mistakes, but maybe she thought hiding the truth was the only way to keep you safe. She chose silence instead of breaking your world." For a long moment, Michael didn't speak. His shoulders shook as silent tears fell. Finally, he whispered, "All my life, I believed in one story. And now, everything has changed." I pulled him close, my voice low. "The truth doesn't erase the love you had. It just shows how much she sacrificed, even if it hurt her." Michael nodded slowly, his face pressed against my shoulder. The weight of the past was crushing, but in that moment, we carried it together. For a long time, we sat in silence, the diary lying open between us. Its pages had revealed more than either of us was ready to hear, but the truth was out now. There was no going back. Michael wiped his eyes with the back of his hand. His voice was low, but steady. I don't hate her, Emily. I can't. She carried this secret because she thought it was the only way to protect me. Maybe she was wrong, but she was also scared, and she was alone. I nodded, squeezing his hand. Sometimes love makes people hide things they should share. Sometimes fear makes them carry burdens they shouldn't. She was human, Michael. And she loved you. He closed the diary gently, his fingers resting on the worn leather cover. I don't want this pain to live with us forever. The past can't be changed, but we don't have to let it poison our future. That night, we went into the garden. Michael carried the diary, and I held a box of matches. We placed the old book in a small metal basin. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then Michael struck the match. The flame caught, spreading quickly across the yellowed pages. We watched in silence as the inked words curled into ash. The photos burned too, faces fading into smoke. Michael stood close beside me, his hand gripping mine. The truth is heavy, he whispered, but letting it go is even harder. I leaned against him, feeling the warmth of the fire on my face. Sometimes, I murmured, the truth hides in forgotten pages, waiting for someone brave enough to read it. The flames flickered one last time, then died, leaving only ashes. And yet, even as the smoke drifted into the night sky, I couldn't stop wondering, are some secrets meant to stay hidden forever? What would you do if you found a hidden diary full of secrets about your family? Tell me in the comments. And if you liked this story, please like, share, and subscribe.